So you've been wearing wigs for a little while now, and so far, so good. You purchase a wig from a brand you've never tried, and suddenly you've noticed something. You can see the lace a little bit. That can happen. Not all lace is exactly the same, and all companies use different manufacturers and different processes, but it's super easy to remedy. It will take you 5 minutes max. And I think it's a skill that you should have if you're going to be a wig wearer. Let me show you. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook, and I've been wearing wigs for over 6 years. I suffer from hair loss. I'm a full-time wig wearer, and the struggle is real, especially in the very beginning. There's so many things we have no clue about when it comes to wigs, and so a lot of it is feet to the fire. You're having to learn it in the moment. And so I love to bring you simple tip videos that will show you how to do things that can really enhance your wig wearing. So lace fronts. I think this could be one of the biggest challenges aside from color and wig fit and some general things. I do think that the lace front on wigs has so much variation that you're probably going to need multiple techniques to dealing with them. For example, sometimes you will buy a wig and the lace shows up on your skin because it's too dark or too light for your skin. In that case, what I'm going to show you today may help if it's subtle, but if it's significant, you may have some the need for other techniques to help you deal with that. That's beyond the scope of this video. I do have a video showing how to use a little bit of face powder on lace that's dirty. So sometimes you may get makeup on your lace that makes it visible and you don't realize it until you've thrown your wig on and you're about to walk out the door, and a little bit of face powder can help with that. But I'll make sure there's some other resources linked in the description box, because today the focus is on cutting the lace when it's visible. Now, disclaimer, I know that there's some people that do not recommend using a pinking shears on lace, because what can happen is when you're creating that scalloped edge, it can actually cause the lace to lose a little bit of its tension, and over time you may find the lace lifting a little bit when it didn't used to do that. I find that can be true on soft lace. So a quick lesson on lace. There's lots of different types of lace out there. You sometimes hear people refer to lace as Swiss lace or as film lace, or there's just so many different types of lace. In general, if you're talking about the major name brand synthetics and human hair, such as Jon Renau, Raquel Welch, Tressalure, Ellen Villa, the big major name brands, the lace used on those wigs tends to be a little thicker, a little stiffer than the lace that you find on human hair wigs, except for the major name brands because they use similar caps for those. But, boutique human hair wigs and super budget friendly synthetics, such as the type that you might find on Amazon, or Nell's Wigs is one that comes to mind. So the technique I'm going to show you today is most appropriate for that thicker lace that you find on the major name brands. I haven't had any issue with the lace fraying when I do this or lifting, but I have to say I switch my wigs out so frequently that I don't necessarily wear any one wig as much as you might if it's only one of maybe 1 or 2 wigs that you wear all the time. So your mileage may vary a little, and I can only give you my experience based on the fact that I kind of do this for a living, if you will, and so I wear a lot of wigs. But I have some wigs that I have loved and worn more than any other, and so far this has not been an issue with those wigs. So let me talk about the philosophy around cutting the lace with the pinking shears. I'll demonstrate it and why I think it works for this reason. I will also say I have a video linked below where I show how to cut the lace on those softer wigs. I use a different scissors usually. I also have a video showing how to cut a lace frontal when you've got lace that goes all the way beyond the ears and there are no ear tabs. So those videos will be linked below as well, because I think there's just no one size fits all for really anything on this journey. So one technique may work better for you than another. Doesn't make either one better than the other, just better for you. So that's why I'm going to link a lot of resources. Let me demonstrate on the wig on my head. This is Estetica James in the color Caramel Kiss RT4, I think. I'm going to make sure all the details are in the description, my review of this piece, all of the good stuff in case you're curious. But one of the things that I have found is certain brands the lace shows up on me more than other brands. For example, Estetica is a brand that I have historically had to trim because I feel like you can see it. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a line of demarcation right there, an indent, if you will, right there. That's the lace. The lace color is perfectly fine for my skin, but for some reason it shows up as a line right here. And I think part of it is the lace is really long. That's quite a bit of lace. And so for me personally, I am not as comfortable or confident in Estetica wigs unless I trim the lace. Another brand I tend to do this a lot with is 𝘮𝘦𝘢𝘴. The reason that lace shows up on me is it tends to be a little bit lighter than my skin tone. But trimming it also helps with that because I think creating that scalloped line actually helps it to blend better into your head because there's no line. Just kind of messing up that line helps a ton. And so this is coming to you from years of experience in doing this, but it may not be the same for you. So just know, if you have been purchasing a certain brand and you haven't found this to be an issue, it doesn't mean that it won't be with another brand. So doing this on your wigs is going to depend on the wig. I don't do this to every one of my wigs, but it does work on the ones that I need to do it on. So let me show you how I use a pinking shears to trim this, and then I'll show you the after. Quick tip, I'm about to cut the lace, but I want to show you, sometimes it's easier for me to clip the hair back when it's on my head than when it's not. So if you're struggling to get all the hair back to clip it out of the way, throw the wig on and do it that way. All right, one thing I want to add is that these pinking shears are incredibly unwieldy. They're really challenging to use, so just take your time. It could take you a while to figure out where to place them, but they work so well that I do think it's worth it. But I just want to warn you, I've tried smaller ones that are made for kids and I just don't find them sharp enough, so just to warn you. Final product, I love it. Now, you may be saying, gosh, I thought it looked fine before. I can't really see that much of a difference. The whole goal of doing these things to your wigs is so that you are more comfortable in them. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I would like to say that 99% of people would not have noticed that line on that lace, but I noticed it. And because I knew it was there, I was going to be self-conscious and not be as comfortable as I could be in this piece. And I know that cutting a scalloped edge into the lace is going to make all the difference. And now I'm going to wear this with confidence. I'm not going to be constantly looking in a mirror to make sure that I can't see that, because I know that I can't see that. So for you, if you are struggling, consider this as an option. And to address the naysayers, which I mentioned earlier, that some people will say never use a pinking shears on your lace because it can cause it to lift. If you're not wearing the wig anyway, what do you have to lose? If you are looking at this video thinking it could be a solution for you, the fact that eventually losing the tension on that lace from a scalloped edge, causing it to lift, which is something that may never happen, by the way, may be worth it to you in order to be able to wear a wig that you can't currently wear. I have videos showing how to use It Stays roll-on adhesive, Ebin spray, and Lace Stick by Wig Guru. 3 wonderful, easy to use, water-soluble adhesives that will not ruin your lace. So if you ever find a time when your lace is lifting, just glue it down a little bit. It's super easy to do. And if it's going to get wear out of a wig that you're not currently wearing, then to me, it's worth it. So can this cause lace to lift? Potentially, depending on the wig, depending on how much you wear it, depending on how much you care for it in the first place. But if you're not wearing your wig anyway, I think this is a viable solution, which might just get that wig on your head. I hope this helps. I'll see you guys soon. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.